Oh, hey everybody. Uh,
Our friends are here. Terrence, friends of all of our shows.
Terrence.
Terrence is six rings, canes on deck and buckets. He is a full circle as well as, of course, CCH is definitely
Yeah. Terrence, you came for the torture, my friend.
CCH is the unnamed host of our shows. He drives the content. He leads us forward here.
Oh my God, what's
Yeah,
going on?
we're gonna get into some of this. Yeah, there's some problematic decision making, which anyway, I guess. Yeah. Oh, look, man, we got everyone here. Here's our friend John.
On. All right.
Yeah, it's always there. Yeah, it's.
You know what? Keep losing, so everybody can keep coming.
These guys show up regardless, man. But these are our hardcore baseball fans. We got them here.
This is true.
Yeah. So 0-4 week,
Which,
blasted by.
which you did say was a possibility.
Yeah, I mean the first. I think there's all sorts of, as CCH said, should have, could have, definitely could have won 2 of 3 against Wake. Should have at least gotten one out of there. But let's start with the first 2 games because no showed a couple of games.
Yeah.
You play 4 games in a week, you don't show up for 2 of them. That's a big concern. Like that UCF game was non-competitive.
No, they came out and they completely crapped the bed.
Yeah, I like how Jimenez is just like raking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hell, man. We are first.
Does it surprise you? Because it's just like sometimes you see all these. I mean, the only guy that didn't transfer that transferred and did crap anyways was Terrell to a big school.
Yeah.
But I could have told you that. And then he has the audacity to come to our alumni game 2 years in a row. I don't.
Hey, at least my yelling at the athletic department got him removed from the official commercial that he was on after he had transferred to FSU.
You think Blake Sear comes to our alumni game when he's done? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my point.
I mean, I think I will say Terrell's not to defend that, but I don't think he had the option of coming back, and that was probably the only school that he could go to that would take him. So
different circumstance.
I think he kind of got pushed out with that whole. Remember that whole team basically was told to leave.
Well, this whole team is basically going to be told to leave in a second too.
Well, I mean that was last year's team was told to leave. This year's team is a brand new team that looks a lot like last year's team right now. So, but to me, at the very least, you got to show up and play every game, and we didn't do that last week. The effort and I would say the give a shit was so low in those first 2 games. It was nice to see them respond and fight. Because even the last game, we knew we were getting swept. We're down 12-7. They still came back and made a game of it and came up short. And so if we saw that effort consistently, our record would be a lot better than it is. Like we wouldn't have lost the series to UConn if we had played with that same effort we did the last 2 games against Wake Forest.
Yeah, it's interesting because we can, obviously those last 2 games were a big issue, a big reason why those games ended up the way they did was just some not so great moves that Coach Arteaga made in that game to kind of set us up for some tough positions, some tough situations for our pitchers to be in, and not only for that, but maybe some pitchers that weren't necessarily pitching so well to begin with. Like, I'm just not sure why we waited so long to use Darius.
Well, we barely used him.
We barely used him. Even Lachi, we barely used Lachi as well.
Well, he came in and gave up.
He gave up that grand slam, right? I think.
But that's all of our pitchers. I mean, this is something we've talked about offline, right? Like I don't know if it's Laz Gutierrez. I don't know if it's JD, but it can't be coincidental that everyone, whether it's Hughes, whether even he gave up 3 runs, 2 were on a homer.
Right.
Robert gave up 7 runs, all on homers, and then I think the 8th was Dorn in relief, who actually pitched really well. Got us like 3 innings and only gave up 1 run. Yeah, these It's just home run after home run after home run, and it's just, I don't know why we can't keep the ball in the park. So it's not surprising that Lachie came in and gave up a grand slam. It feels like the third one we've given up this year or something. It's just
Even then, he's still throwing well, right? He's still one of our top.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is that we're doing that is causing us to give up. I mean, some of them, like the one Jackson Cleveland gave up, was kind of like that field is plays shallow and that's not a home run in most parks, but still, it's not the first time he's been tagged. Was Will Smith last weekend against Connecticut or 2 weekends against Connecticut, got battered, and then Jackson had to come in and bail it out. But those giving up those home runs are killing us. Because we actually, you and I saw this at Connecticut. We looked up at the scoreboard and we were doing like 7-2. It was like, we have 8 hits. They have 7 hits. They have 7 runs. We have 2 runs. Right. So you get a home run, you get all the runs.
Yeah.
So it's just.
But not only that, right?
Stupid, but you get all the runs. So it's just like
they're scoring their runs off the home runs, but they're getting on base. They're getting base hits. They're finding the holes. I know sometimes it's just like there's nothing you can do. They find the hole. But you can even tell by the approach at the plate with a lot of these guys the difference in how they approach every at bat, as opposed to some of our guys that go up to play to the plate. And that look again, we're scoring some runs. We're hitting the baseball pretty well.
Sometimes, right? Because I mean, if you look through the week, it was 4 runs against UCF, 0 runs on Friday, 4 runs in game 1. The only time we really put up a good, like, I'm looking at game 2 and understanding that we had the lead into the later innings, but we gave up as a total in 9 innings 4 runs. We gave up the 5th run in extra innings. You got to win that game, and we were hitting well early in that game. When they went to the bullpen, complete collapse. We had 2 base runners the rest of the game, 1 reach on error. And then I think Galvin got a hit. And that was it. Everything else, no walks. Like you said, there's no plate approach. And when
terrible plate appearance.
Yeah,
by Cuvée.
Cuvée in I think in the 10th, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're one of the best players in college baseball, you're not swinging at things like that, right?
You know what? I call this out. So it's funny exact point because I was watching this is the end of game 2 with my nephews. And Dorian, perfect swing for him makes it, and they're like, oh, it's gonna. I'm like, the problem is Dorian does not have power. He'll occasionally hit a homer, but he can't be swinging for the fences. And of course, he flew out to deep left center. I'm like, yeah, what or right center? I was like, yeah, that's his. Unless he gets wind and really, really grooves one, he's not going to hit it out of the park. He's on the ground. Right. And these are just, it's just
not his game is to be dropping balls.
Yeah, and like you said, the plate approach is pretty terrible. Like that everyone's going to focus on how we had a 4-0 lead and the pitching staff blew it. But 4 runs is all they gave up. That's enough to win most games. And it's really hard to pitch when, I mean, we always look at is the offense continuing to score, it takes pressure off of your pitching and your defense. But the other extreme is forget not scoring, no base runners. Those half innings where we were batting in the back half of game 2 were so quick. Our pitchers were constantly on the bump, and that wears you down mentally. You want to go catch your breath in the dugout, and instead it's well, inning's already over, get your ass back out there. And then and then JD got involved, and I don't. So what ended up happening is he warmed up fully Will Smith in the 7th inning to come on, and we thought to come on do the 8th, and then changed his mind and tried to get a 6-out save out of Jackson Cleveland, who obviously gave up the solo shot that tied the game. But even he gave us 2 innings of 1-run ball. It's not great. Again, your closer, you need to get the 6 outs, but why are we asking to do a 6-out save? And then if you're going to do that, why'd you warm up Will Smith? Because, I mean, that's still, it's not the same as pitching, going on the mound, but you're still using his arm up a little bit there for no reason. I don't understand that. And then, and then we get to the next game where we're, again, leading. I mean, the one time, this is a guy who never takes pitchers out. He always waits too long.
That's the Darius one, right?
And all of a sudden, he pulls Darius. I legit, because I was half, I mean,
he threw 2/3 of an inning, right?
Yeah, 2/3 of an inning. There was a runner on third. He just struck out the previous batter. And I don't. So there's multiple problems here. One is for the first time ever, I'm gonna have the quick hook. Why I don't know. So I actually pulled the stream up later and tried to confirm because I was like, he must have gotten injured. No, he looked surprised he was getting pulled. But then he goes to Giroux. So Giroux's not our best arm out of the bullpen because he's usually a midweek starter.
Right.
And guess what? He started in the midweek. What? Why would you run that kid back out there? He doesn't have full rest. He pitched 3 or 4 innings against UCF. So he's throwing a lot this week already. I don't understand why you would do any of that. None of that makes any sense. Of course, he gets tagged, and then he gets out of that inning, and then the next inning, and then he and Lachie collaborate to give up. We gave up 7 runs in the next inning. It's like you had Darius there, fresh, hadn't pitched all week, only had gone 2/3 of an inning. Let him. In my head, I'm thinking, all right, you used up Jackson Cleveland in the last game. And who else do we bring in that pitched well? We basically only have a few arms we can really rely on out of the bullpen. Someone else pitched before Jackson. I can't remember who it is. But anyway, so we had kind of used up two of our arms. So really, you're going into this third game thinking, all right.
Maybe it was Siskar.
Oh, the Siskar, yeah. So really, in terms of, and I know these guys have all gotten hit at times this year, but in terms of these are the arms you really you want to rely on. I shouldn't even say trust because, again, they've all been hit. But it's Will Smith, it's Darius, it's Jackson Cleveland, and it's Siskar. Those are the guys that have really given you good innings. I don't understand. So they use Siskar and Jackson Cleveland.
Home run
yeah, Lachie's been okay, but he hasn't had to pitch in those high leverage situations that the other 4.
Right.
But so I'm like, all right, you use 2. Again, it's a doubleheader, so he had to manage it differently. I get all that. So you've used 2 up. So Siskar and Jackson Cleveland cannot pitch game 3. So I'm thinking they're going to the pen, which they had to because Walters has not been very good, just to be honest, either. But so he's got to go to it early. He goes to Darius, and I'm like, all right. I think it was in the 4th or 5th inning. I'm like, all right, it was in the 5th inning. Because I'm thinking in my head, at that point, it was going into the 5th inning. I was like, all right, we need to get 15 more outs. So I'm like, you basically got to get 15 outs with Will Smith and Darius. There's maybe someone can get an out here or there, but really, those are your guys. And when he pulls Darius after point 2, I texted Jess, I'm like, we still need 13 outs. And I was like, where are the 13 outs coming from?
Then Giroux got 1. And then
he got 1, and then and that was like I was like, this math doesn't work. You need Darius to get you to the 7th, at least. And you pulled him halfway through the 5th after And again, I was like, you must be injured. I rewatched that sequence on the Watch ESPN app so many times to see did he grab something? Did he pull something? No. As far as I know, he's perfectly healthy. It's the most. For a guy who leaves pitchers in too long constantly to quick hook, there was no way to get that many outs, and it imploded. So I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest.
So real quick,
a lot of questions we can run.
There's a lot of questions, but this is an interesting question. Who starts tomorrow? I think here's the thing, John. I'm going to tell you right now. If Tate Darius gets to start tomorrow, I think JD should get fired right on the spot. Because now you're talking about now you're losing an arm for another ACC matchup against Florida State. Tate Darius' arm is going to be. You're going to need him this weekend. So if you start him on Tuesday against FAU,
I'd be so confused. I thought Giroux was left-handed for a second. I was like, Giroux's right-handed too, W. I was like, you're right, but what the hell's he doing? I was like, keep doing lefty. I'm like, nope. Jazz is like, nope, Giroux's right-handed too.
Yeah, I would assume it's Giroux or Lumpkin. Although we thought it was going to be.
We thought it was going to be Lumpkin last time.
Giroux.
Well, they both ended up having to pitch.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I think you got to throw Lumpkin almost because you threw Giroux on Saturday. What are you pitching him every other day now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. Why would they? Again, another reason not to throw Giroux on Saturday was to get. Honestly, if we can get to 1-3, that might not. we're gonna talk about that in the upcoming schedule. Yeah, I don't know. Good point, CCH. I don't know who's got more control. This reminds me of like when we hired Manny Diaz and the defense imploded. You're like, I don't even know if it's Blake Baker, who the hell's in charge over there, but like it's a disaster. Like we can't pitch. And if you look at that last staff that Gino DiMaria had, that by the way was the number 9 overall seed in the country, just missed out on a national seed, and you look at the arm talent, it was not there either. Like, but JD was always able to piece together a pitching staff, and like you watch these kids throw, we have arms. They're not performing. We're giving up way too many home runs. And then at the plate, like you said, Jazz, our at-bats are terrible. Our plate approach is terrible. You see, it's very glaring when you watch a team like Wake Forest. Everyone's very consistent in their approach. You know, they're taking their time. They're making us throw pitches. They're waiting for their spots. You know, they're shortening their swing up with 2 strikes. They don't strike out and they get the ball in play. And then we're out there just hacking around, and it's striking out on 3 pitches, and just our plate approach is so undisciplined in relation to, a team that's performing at a higher level. And so I don't think it's a talent issue. Like I'm looking at like the way, like in a vacuum, and obviously we've both been out to the light multiple times this year, and you see the arm talent certainly is, I feel, better than it was 2 years ago when we were, a regional host and a spot away from being a national seed. But JD was able to, he's always been able to give me whatever's there. I'm going to construct a pitching staff. And for whatever reason, as manager, he's been unable to do that. It's the second year in a row that the pitching has been terrible.
I know someone earlier in the show asked if JD is on the hot seat now. And with Rad, he said something about, let's go back.
Yeah, I'll find it. Yep, here it is. It was from John.
Yeah, with Rad or too early. So you and I had this conversation. Vish, Rad has made some pretty shitty moves also, right?
Yeah, I actually talked about this on Buckets last week too, because everyone's excited about the new hire, and I said, he has 0 head coaches for the basketball team, 0 head coaching experience. And if you look at Radakovic's hires, saying, trust me, bro, just ain't going to cut it for me. Because he didn't, like, the only reason that, like, people aren't rioting is because football is good. We hired Mario before Radakovic. So, I mean, he's got, again, we played 1 ACC series in year 2. So I think, it's a little bit early to, write the obituary for the JT Arteaga. But
I think the misconception, Vish, right? We've all been guilty of it to a certain degree. The misconception is, well, this team was on the way down and they were struggling and they needed to make a change from Gino. And they forget to mention that we were top seeds the last 2 seasons of Gino's career here. We were we were country, like we were one of the best teams in college baseball. Did we have our deficiencies? Sure, but Gino, what Gino was doing was, making chicken salad sandwiches with chicken shit, right? Like he was really. I mean, we had some deficiencies and he was winning some ball games. We had some great players as well. Don't get me wrong, but this team that we have right now might be in a better position with a guy like, if Gino was coaching. I'm not saying that, he chose to leave the game, right? Basically. Yeah. So it's not a matter of, we should bring him back or we made a bad decision. The bottom line is that the coaching has been a bit of an issue. And we weren't on a downslide. Now we are, right?
It was going to be a little bit of a rebuild because obviously, we talked about all the guys, Yo-Yo, Kafis, that last team, if you look back at the names now, Levinson, Andrew Walters was the closer. Like there were guys, Rosario, although he wasn't great in college, we know where his where his talent level is. So we lost a lot after that class. Was going to be a bit of a rebuild, but I do know Gino knew how to manage a regular season and eke out wins. Right. And we're just doing the opposite now. We're losing games we shouldn't. As CCH said, we played we were the better team in those last two games and lost them both in a doubleheader. It's pretty remarkably bad to do that. Same thing with against UF. I mean, they scored some like garbage runs at the end of Sunday's game where we would have outscored them for the weekend, but we still lost the series. And knowing how to manage your way into wins in the regular season is a skill, and JD has not shown it yet. Where Gino was able to do that. Now Gino's problems were obviously in the postseason where he flopped twice. Like we never lost home regionals until he got in there and lost two in a row. I think we lost one way back when Jim Morris, I think we were the 16th seed and got killed twice, and it was very embarrassing. Remember Eric Whaley getting lit up? There's a name for you. But by and large, we were successful in our home regionals. He lost both of them, so there's definitely stuff that need to be addressed. But I think you and I at the time said people are overreacting a little bit to the underperformance here because it could be a lot worse, and now we're at a lot worse.
Yeah,
and managing your way through a regular season, knowing, hey, I'm gonna maybe sacrifice a sweep to make sure I get a win here. That kind of, like we have not really seen that. That like any kind of consistent management across both the games on Saturday, and we get at least one of them.
Here's another thing, right? Here's my hot take of the night. I think that UCF is a better team than Wake Forest.
I mean, they might be. I mean, Wake Forest is 6-0 in the ACC right now, so
yeah. But I think a lot more people are actually surprised with the way Wake Forest is playing than with with how maybe Miami's playing right now. Because apparently, I don't know how good Wake Forest was supposed to be. I know they loaded up in the transfer portal a little bit as well.
They lost their big guys.
They lost their big guys, right? They lost Chase Burns, all these other guys. So, but they've got a good coaching staff over there. Obviously, Corey Muscara has done an amazing job with that pitching staff. I've talked about him before, Vish. I don't know if you remember, but man, if all else fails and you got to go look for a head coach, Corey Muscara is my number one guy. And I'm sure people have tried to take him away from Wake Forest already. But I love what he does with that pitching staff, what he's been able to get out of the pitchers that he has now. Because I want to say that they're not great, but they've been able to, I mean, what are they, 19-3, 18-3 right now?
Yeah.
So they're winning ball games and they're pitching great. So you can't say they're not great because they are. But
no, for sure. But I mean, like that first game on Saturday, that was criminal when we scored 4 runs. We were hitting that guy left and right, making great contact, getting on base, and just not driving runs. And they made 4 errors or whatever it was, and we didn't capitalize. And we left a lot of runs out on the field, and then everyone's looking at the bullpen like you blew a 4-3 lead. And it's like, how did we only have 4 runs at that point with all the? I mean, they went to the pen, and it was like it felt like we almost like stuck it in neutral because we felt the game was over and weren't. Right. There were several innings there where we basically did not compete at the plate in that game, and that was certainly a winnable one.
Problem is, we got to compete every night. We
don't. And but we talked about this before the season, like that beginning of this ACC schedule it's at Wake. Obviously, we got swept. We're hosting top 5 FSU this week, and then at North Carolina the week after that. Like we're 0-9 is in the ACC play is definitely. I mean, no, UConn had won 2 games coming into the light when they double their win total that weekend. Like they're not UConn. I mean, obviously anyone watching this show follows baseball. Like they've been very good for the last 10 years. They're not this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Campbell's better than people think too, though. Campbell's a good baseball program.
Yeah, no, the
I don't know how good they are or if they're ranked or anything like that, but I know.
No, they're regulars and regionals, but again, UConn. By the way, beat us pretty handily in 2 of those.
Man, baseball is a different animal, man. There's a lot of talent out there. Anybody can get beat at any time. I mean, not everybody is going to beat Tennessee or LSU. That's undefeated or has 1 loss in the season. They're going to lose too, by the way. They're going to lose too eventually.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of teams out there with a lot of good baseball players. You just got to be better for a longer period of time than the other teams. So look, FAU is ranked 17th at 18-3. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I expect us to win the ball game
Yeah, I mean it's very possible we're carrying an eight game losing streak after this week. We'll see. I think I don't know where the where the administration's head is at. Obviously, JD has a lot of political backing, but I mean, I think it's hard to justify not making regionals, and that is going to take a pretty big turnaround on the field to do this year.
By the way, I love this. I love what CCH put out because we're big fans of 64 Analytics. They've been on the show before, and I trust their analytics. I trust what they do. So this makes sense that we played the number 2 and the number 13 teams last week. Number 2, I'm sure they're talking about. I'm assuming Wake Forest, and number 13 UCF. All right, I'm assuming that's what it means. And then this week we played 5 and number 17, which obviously 5 is FSU.
By the way, Jazz and I, we were talking about this right before we went live. What idiot squeezed in the @FAU game on the Tuesday?
Yeah, it's not like they're.
What are you doing, man? You got a Thursday game coming.
Yeah, they're not a soft team by any means.
And it's on the road. Like, what are you doing? And then, I mean, we got a little bit lucky in the sense that the Wake Forest game got converted to a doubleheader, so we got out of there on Saturday. Otherwise, we would have been out of it back home Sunday night to turn around and go to Boca and play on Tuesday to come back home and play FSU on Thursday. Like, what? That did not need to be done. I guess we should talk about some of this stuff too. John's mentioning the rotation at first base.
But wait, hold on a second. Well, yeah, okay. Let's talk about that first before with Zach's, because I want to go back to what Zach said. We'll do a little bit of that. That'll be fun. That one. Okay. But yeah, any word on Hudson? No. Renzo's swinging the bat okay. At first base, I don't think there's anybody better than him either. He can pick it. So I think that he's good at first base. I don't think from a defensive standpoint, although Todd Hudson was pretty good, they're just looking for a guy that can swing the bat consistently.
So is
that guy, but like he hit the ball well this weekend in a couple of games.
So I did like in game 2 when we started to go to short and moved Jake over to first.
Right.
I thought it bounced our info. I think we were definitely better defensively. Degody was really good at short, and I think that settled the team down a little bit because we've been also low-key punting the ball all over the place, a bunch of idiots. And so I think I kind of liked that move, and it got another righty bat in the lineup, which is, we're Miami, so we got opposite problems. We need righty bats because we have too many freaking lefties in there, and especially this week, FSU's is loaded with quality left-handed arm talent. So I think we'll probably see more of that, of Ogden at first and Degody at short against left-handed starters. But yeah, it looks like Renzo is kind of moved up over Todd on the pecking order at first base. Although I will say I think it's negligible at this point. I don't think either of them is really lighting it up. Yeah, I mean, I will say I think Dorian's got it. I don't know what's going on there. He's
at first I was like, you're out of your mind, but I think that maybe not a full on benching, like he'll never play again, but like you've mentioned, Vish, right? Give the guy a day off. See if that,
I mean, he started off hitting pretty well. He's completely fallen off a cliff there, and as CCH, I don't know what's going on. He was always like a really good glove. He has just made a ton of mistakes and errors this year, and I don't know
he looks a little bit like he's kind of taking plays off, or say he's kind of just like half-assing a lot of the plays that he makes.
Maybe he does need the Derek Williams benching.
Yeah.
Bench him in the midweek and then make him reset and then put him back, because Derek has been knocking the cover off the ball since that. So
right.
But yeah, no, he's hitting the ball in the air too much. He had that 2 home run game right before the season fell off a cliff, and I think it's like Major League 2 when Willie Mays Hayes keeps trying to hit home runs. It's like, dude, just put the ball in the.
Yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to make some changes. But
Yeah, what else? So a
Raw.
couple other things, right? That they have done. So definitely going to Fabio in center field has definitely helped a lot. I know that was something you would call for.
Thank you.
I had to give you some credit there. Yeah, I mean this is the problem though, because even then, Fabio's also a lefty. Like I
Good
think we're
luck.
good. Well, I think we are gonna see a lot of Degodi. I think that's this week against FSU.
Arriaga he's a right-handed hitter as well, isn't he? Or he's a switch hitter?
Yeah, I think he might be switch.
Might be a switch hitter, or maybe he's another bat. He's decent on the field as well. I mean, there's if he's a right-handed hitter, then maybe.
I don't see anyone else getting benched because if you're putting in Degodi, which clearly they prefer as like kind of the right-handed option, that'll put Ogden at first. They're not, rightly or wrongly, like Dorian is not getting benched.
Yeah, he's not.
And so the only other option, I mean, you're not taking Galvin out, you're not taking Marsh out, and you're not taking Fabio out. So I just don't see where. Yeah, no. Evan Tavares' bat definitely surprised me. All of this, I texted Jazz in the lineup, came out, I was like, oh, good. Evan Tavares, this 0.77 batting average is in the lineup. They might as well head to the airport now. And then he hit a bomb. Yeah, hit it.
You got to base it after that too, right? Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. He was good at the plate, but his fielding left a lot to be desired. We are. I think. Yeah, was it John? Yeah, I think we are grossly fundamentally unsound. We cannot throw anyone out at second base on if they're get on first, you might as well just give them second because
that's the thing. Have you noticed, Vish? Like all the teams that we play, the big time teams, the Floridas, the North Carolinas, the Wake Forest, like all of them, when it comes to fundamentals, man, they look good when it comes to fundamentals. They do not screw around. They get shit done. When it comes to fundamentals to us, once one bunt and we're sliding all over the place, we're making bad throws, and we're down 12-7. Boom, there it is.
Yeah, right? I don't get it. I don't get why we
don't understand. I don't understand what it is. It drives me crazy. Okay, hold on. I got to answer this question that he asked over here, Zach. Where would y'all rank Miami in the state of Florida? This is a tough one because the state of Florida is stacked with some good teams, man. You got Florida State, Florida, who are obviously your top two teams, and UCF. You got to throw UCF in there.
I put FAU ahead of us for sure. And
FAU also another ranked opponent.
Yeah, no, they're better than us. So I think that's when we slide in. We're probably, I think we're fifth. I think we're fifth.
The fifth best team. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Anyways, it's just fun.
I mean, it's a no-brainer that there are three teams that are clearly better than us in a state that has three major programs. So we start there.
Yeah, and then you throw it to get hot at any moment, like Florida Gulf Coast. Even FIU, I know FIU is not great, but them. You got Stetson that went toe to toe with Florida earlier this year. You got a lot of teams out there that can play. You got Miami-Dade College that could probably kick everybody's ass out there. So you got a lot of teams that can play, and some Chipola and some of those other JUCOs also. There's a lot of good baseball in Florida, but yeah, I'd probably pencil them in there right there, 4 or 5. So we have 4 games against. Oh, 4 games against. Okay. Canes, stop making predictions.
Is that TCH? Because he came out when he came bold off the top step here.
Oh man!
I broke into the liquor very early on Friday. I was like, I can't. Friday, not on Saturday, but yeah, no.
You might need the whole bottle.
We struck out 3 times, and then they immediately started scoring, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to watch this over.
John, come see us. We'll be at the light this week.
Yeah, I'll be at the light this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I'll be out there. I will not be drinking while we're on duty. We sort of are working out there, so keep it sober during the. We'll see. By the Saturday night game, we'll see if we're still doing that. But
we'll sneak a beer or two in, yeah, for real. Oh my God.
Sneak a beer or 2 or something different.
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday this week. So.
That's wild, but we'll be out there for those games.
I mean, this will be a fun one. It's FSU. It's a rivalry. It'll be packed.
Right. That's what we're going for, right?
Well, we're going out there to win, damn it.
Okay.
Gotta
All right.
defend our home.
All right.
These assholes from Tallahassee are coming to invade our home, man.
Oh my God. Shall we do it? Shall we do it? Are we ready to do it? Or hold on a second. What's our
Hold on. Let's talk a little bit more about what's coming up this week, and then we'll get into the. So we got at FAU tomorrow, and then then we host Florida State for a 3-game set this week, and then at North Carolina following weekend. So that's the first 9 games. We're already 0-3. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
How many games? So we got 6 games. The next 6 games are in ACC play. 3 at home against Florida State, 3 at North Carolina. How many do we need to win to stay in it for an at-large bid? Because the schedule gets much easier after. I think the only really tough team we have left in the ACC is at UVA towards the end of the season, because we do have, some of these teams are not, like Duke is really bad this year. Notre Dame is terrible, and we haven't played them yet, and we are going to, so we can pick up wins down the road. But if you're in a big hole by that point, like how bad, like how many games out of these next 6 do we need to win?
And we don't play Clemson this year, right?
We don't play Clemson. I think UVA is really our last tough ACC series, but we'd have played 3 tough ones already. So, like, well, what do we need to do against Florida State and against Carolina to get?
First of all, Carolina just got swept, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're still ranked 17th, though. They're struggling in ACC play, but they're ranked 17th.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
let's see how they play this week. Let's see how they play this weekend. But I think that you have to at least go 500, 15-12. You have to be 15-12 by the time you.
Well, I'm talking about just ACC games. So there's 6 ACC games coming up that are tough. How many do we need to win?
3 of them. I think you got to win 3.
So you think we got to win one of these series?
Well, you got to win one here, Florida State, and then take 2 against UNC. Stranger things have happened. I know we played UNC really tough. We actually play them really well, and we're playing them. Are we playing them at home or away?
We're at UNC.
So that makes it a little bit tougher. But I think that if we can play FSU tough, kind of like how we played Saturday night, like that. If we can play them tough and steal one from FSU, I'd be happy. And then grab 2 from UNC would be where I think we need to be, is what I'm saying. Where I think we need to be. So 15-12 heading into the following week. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not less worried about the overall record, more worried about,
then we're looking at 16-12.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of midweeks in there too, so that'll impact a little bit. But right now we're 12-9 and 10 and obviously 0-3 in the conference.
So if you go 3-3, Vish, if you go 3-3 in the conference and your record's 17-12 going into the end of that next week, are you happy?
I think so. I mean, we got to keep it going then, right?
Yeah.
Because again, even the bad ACC teams, and this is again, I feel like we're just on a repeat from last year, right? Where when you're trying to make up win losses in the ACC, it is so hard because you win a series, you made up a game,
right?
So you really got sweep. We got to sweep some of these teams down the road. Look, if we win one of these 2 series, that'll be a quality series win. That'll look good on the resume. It'll be by far our best series win to date. And as hard as the schedule has been, and it's going to be easier, that's great. But you're not going to get quality wins. Like after these next 2 weeks, the last resume building opportunity you have is Virginia late in the season. So yeah, you got to rack up those wins and do that work, but you need to beat someone. So that would accomplish all of that. It's just 6 games under 500 and trying to chase it back to at least. I mean, you can get in below 500 in the ACC. You can get into the tournament. But trying to chase that back to somewhere close,
right?
Man, thinking this team is going to play 6 games over 500 ball in the ACC play the rest of the season to get back to 500.
That'd be tough.
That's hard to do when again 2 out of 3 is a good series,
right?
And you make up a game. That's why you can't get swept like this. We'd kill you.
All right, just give it to me, man. Just give it to me. Let's.
I think they need to win. I think they need to win this weekend series. They need to upset Florida State because we've also been We are 1-7 on the road.
Yeah.
And 10-2 at home. So I think even though Florida State's obviously better in North Carolina, you get them at the light. All the games are at night. You got to kind of get some voodoo going and steal a couple of these.
True.
And then that'll carry some momentum into next week, where hopefully you can do something there. But I think they need to somehow win 4 of these 6.
Okay. 46.
Because that'll get you 4 to 4-8.
Yeah.
This is the problem. This is what I'm illustrating my point. You're still 4. You could have 2 quality series wins in a row.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's why you cannot get swept.
You're playing catch up the rest of the year, anyways.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, 4-8. I'll go 3-3. I mean, 4. You'll go 4 and.
Yeah, it'll be 4 and it'll be
2, and I'll say 3-3.
Or that'd be 4 and 5 actually, not 4 and 8. My math is not mathing. Yeah, I missed the Niagara days, John, where they would just dropping balls. 4 and 6 actually.
Vish.
Anyway.
Vish.
Yes, we're doing it.
We're doing it. What do you think?
Oh
Here
my god!
Milkshake of the week. Milkshake of the weekend versus
so
Tallahassee.
I mean, what the
they
hell
put
is
a
in
third-
Tallahassee? Seriously.
They
I mean,
put a
you know they got to be ruthless, right? Because it's FSU, so it cannot be. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be. The Snickerdoodle was like kind.
Yeah.
Right. They can't be kind. They got to be ruthless here. And I don't. What is Tallahassee even known for?
Oh man, what are they? I mean, if anybody knows what Tallahassee is known for when it comes to
State politics.
yeah.
I don't think you can bottle that into a milkshake. So, what the North Florida? Maybe North Florida in general.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't do anything with the Seminoles because when the Gators come in, they like put Gator in there.
Right.
You can't do anything with the Seminoles. Like as a.
Could you go with
trees?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean this is tough.
Yeah, this is a tough
one. I don't know. There's nothing like.
I'm gonna go with the Dirty Stripper. Use G string.
John to Tallahassee. Don't leave that alone.
I like it though. I
mean, he's been there. So I mean, the man is spitting facts. I was trying.
I have a feeling that a bunch of degenerates will buy it, and that'll sell here. So
I mean, that would definitely move here. Like you'd be one of those. We're sold out of the specialty shake by like the first day. So,
do you think they go savory or they go sweet? They go savory, right?
They gotta do something gross. It's FSU.
So if they're gonna do something gross, let's say, what if they do? Because I'm trying to think. We don't play anybody in New York or anything like that. So maybe like a pizza shake.
But what the hell is it? What does pizza do with Tallahassee?
I don't know.
Actually, what is the food in the Panhandle?
There's like that restaurant there that it's like that restaurant that sells those humongous pizzas. What's it called? It starts with an N. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But they sell like these.
Anyway, okay, so you're going pizza?
I'll go with a pizza shake. What do you got?
God, honestly, I don't. What the hell, Tallahassee, huh?
Yeah.
It's the Gulf Coast-ish area, Panhandle. Okay, so what would you do for Alabama?
Who are they known for? Like, is there anybody famous?
That place is so freaking worthless. Like, it's got no personality.
Shrimp scampi steak. Shake. Hey, that 5 times fast. Shrimp scampi shake. Shrimp scampi shake. Shrimp scampi. That's tough. Say that one 5 times fast. All right, a shrimp scampi shake.
All right, there it is.
Pretty gross.
Yeah.
That is pretty gross.
I don't know. Maybe they'll put some crab in there or something. They eat crabs up there. I don't.
Jameis Winston apparently does.
Oh, there you go. That is it. It's the crab leg. It's the crab leg.
It's the crab leg shake.
The Publix crab leg. That's got to be it. It's got to be the crab leg shake. There it is.
I think
there it is. The crab leg in the shake in honor of Jameis shoplifting Winston over there. So we will.
Win this one.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
So mine was probably the weakest one with a pizza shake, but I think crab leg. I hope, man. I hope.
God, that would
be
listening.
Mark Light shakes.
Come on, man. Crab leg shake. That's what we're going for.
Make sure you tag them on.
Well, we gotta. Let's see what comes out. It should be coming out soon because it's Thursday, so they gotta get that thing out quick.
We got crab leg shake. We got pizza shake, and then John threw in a
shrimp scampi is actually a good shout because I feel like that's like a Gulf Coast thing.
Super disgusting. Great.
I mean, the thing is, they're technically in state, so you're limited. Because these other ones, when they're out of state, you like what anything in the entire state, but
Right,
like,
right.
but then it's a different world over there. It's not really.
See, North Carolina, we can come up with some barbecue. Or
Oh
something.
yeah, they do barbecue, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, but what I guess what are our other home? Oh, real quick before we wrap up here, what are our other home? Because North Carolina's on the road.
Yeah.
Let's say we got Duke. Okay, that we can do barbecue.
Okay.
Georgia Tech, Atlanta.
All right.
That's
We got
Coke.
Juniors.
Chick-fil-A is from Atlanta.
Chick-fil-A. Ooh, wow. Chick-fil-A shake out.
That'd be interesting. NC State. Wow, we got two from the same part of North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we finished with Notre Dame, which
Indiana.
Well, I mean that you got to drop some like Guinness
Like
in there or something.
Corn shake.
Yeah, it's gotta be Guinness, right?
Yeah. You're right.
Well, and probably put Lucky Charms or something in there.
All
But
right.
anyway, we'll get to that week.
All right. Crab leg shake for the win.
Let's hope.
Let's see what happens. Anyway,
Let's hope it's the Canes for the win. We need a couple of wins this week. Come on. Can't run an 8-game winning streak. The talent is there. We got to put it together. We got to put it out of managerial distance.
Yes.
So that's my challenge to you as players. You got to put up a large enough lead that it is unscrew-upable.
Unscrew-upable. I like that. Unscrew-upable.
Yeah.
Unscrew-upable. Word of the day.
We're making up words here.
I like it. Unscrew-upable. That's the word of the day, baby. We'll see.
It's not a word, but we'll go with it anyway.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you out at the light too if you're out there this weekend. We will be
sure.
there.
We'll see what's up. Hang out. We'll see you guys later.